In this video, I'm going to show you a cable heart design that you can create on a single bed knitting machine. I've got here 3 sections of 19 stitches with 1 needle out of action in between. I'm going to leave that needle out of action, and that will create a ladder or kind of a border for each of these sections. I will alternate the section where I'm going to do the design, so I'm going to do on the outer ones and then in the middle. I wouldn't advise to do on all the sections at the same time, as when we create some of the cables at the edges, there's too much tension and it's kind of impossible. I've tried it. You'll see how the sample looks at the end and you can decide how you want to use this stitch, but this is just one option. So here is the center needle. You saw how I just pushed needles out until I found the one that is in the very center. This is just one way you can do that. I'm going to form a 3x3 cable. So I picked up the 3 stitches on the left side of that center needle and 3 on the right side. And we're just kind of crossing, going over that needle. This can feel quite tight, so it's really important to test your tension and see what works. But if your yarn is strong enough and your tension is right, you shouldn't have any issues. I'll knit 2 rows. Using a 3-prong tool, I'm going to again pick up the same 6 stitches I picked up previously, but this time I'm just going to do a transfer. The ones on the right, I'm going to transfer them to the right. The ones on the left, I'm going to transfer them to the left. So we're doing now a fully fashioned transfer to create an eyelet. Make sure to put those needles back in action and knit 2 rows. I will continue with another transfer, but this time I'm going to move 1 stitch further to the left and to the right. In total, we will form 3 eyelets. So here is the last one. If you want this design to be on a larger scale, you can of course have more stitches than 19 here in the center. And all you have to do is to continue transferring here to the edge until you have 6 stitches or 6 needles in between the ladder here on the right and the last eyelet. The next step is to pick up the 6 stitches at the edge, and we will form a left cross cable here. So we're crossing to the left first. And on the other side, I'm going to form a right cross cable, which means I'm crossing to the right first. Skip the 3 stitches at the very edge and grab the next 3 and transfer them 1 stitch to the right. We'll do the same on the other side. I'm going to skip the 3 stitches at the edge and transfer the next 3 to the left. So we are now we have done this cable here, and then we've created these 3 eyelets here. 1, 2, 3. Then we form the cable on the edge. You can see now that we're transferring the stitches back to form the cable in the very center. And just like we did at the very beginning, we'll form another 3x3 cable going over the center needle. So far we've used a 3-prong tool, and now we will be using a 2-prong tool. Again, we will skip that center needle, and I'm going to transfer the 2 stitches to the right of it, 1 stitch to the right. We'll do the same on the other side. Transfer the 2 stitches, 1 stitch to the left. We will also grab the 2 stitches at the very edge, and we'll transfer them 1 stitch to the right. And 1 stitch to the left. So we have now 2 empty needles here. I'll make sure to place that needle back in action. Don't worry, it will still be able to cast on a stitch, even though it's right next to where the ladder is. So we formed that larger eyelet here, and I feel like that's how it kind of defines the heart a bit better by doing it like that. Continue with another transfer just like before. Move in 1 stitch to the left and 1 stitch to the right from where the previous eyelet was. Knit 2 more rows. And now we will form a 2x2 cable right there. You can see we're skipping the middle needle here. And just like we did in the very beginning in the center, we're going over that needle and we're forming a 2x2 cable. Here we're forming a left cross cable, crossing to the left first. And on the other side. So if we were to form another eyelet here, this is where it would be, but now we're just picking up the stitches and we're forming a right cross cable. That was it. We form now the heart in the center. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 more here. And here's a sample. You could of course choose to not have the ladder as borders, but I think this is easier for when you're knitting it because you can see exactly where you are. If you don't know them, you can just count stitches or use other ways of knowing where you are in the design. Here are a few other samples that I developed. Here's the first one, which kind of started this whole thing. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to download a chart for this design, you can join me on Patreon. There you can support my channel so I can continue making videos like this and also have access to a lot of extra content which is not available on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and I will see you next time. Bye bye!